Today we're gathering around the campfire with Ulrich, a QHS member whose life is as exciting and grounding as a hike through the mountains. But what trails did he tread to reach these heights? Let's trek into the wilderness and discover the adventures that led Ulrich to where he is today.
I was born in Switzerland about 2 weeks before the Second World War started. I grew up in Winterthur, which is a city north of Zurich, about 100,000 inhabitants, industrial city at the time. My family's father's side, we could trace back to 1600, and they were all vicars, engineers, blacksmiths, farmers. My mother's side came from the French part of Switzerland. They were basically laborers and tradesmen. I had very loving parents. We had a beautiful childhood. We were three of us, three brothers, and we were very free. We had a little forest in the back of our garden, so we played there all the time. We played with neighbors' kids. It was fantastic. I had two very nasty teachers in my primary school. I don't know why they had it in for me. I was a little bit on the shy side. And the second one, a friend of mine, we actually planned to the teacher. It was so bad. It wasn't just us that were treated badly, it was the whole class. And we were planning to get my dad's army rifle but of course that fell by the wayside. But it was a hard experience. And another one was because I was doing recorded lessons. I had to walk through the city, and I was always bullied by some other kids. And one day, the leader of the pack came again to me and wanted to annoy me. And I just took my recorder, smashed it over his head. And from then on, I had peace, and it showed me my strength, which stayed with me all my life. I then wanted to become a graphic designer, and my dad said that's not a money-making job. So I did an apprenticeship in metallurgy and chemistry, studied chemical engineering and chemistry, did a degree there, had also to do my military service during that time, which was compulsory for all the Swiss. Because of my profession, I was drafted as an ABC officer, and in 1960, when I was 21, I went out with a friend of mine. We went mountaineering, and he got killed right in front of me by an avalanche. And that was another sort of a shock that made me aware of various things. And it sort of every now and then came up, and I had to work on that. I worked after my diploma in the pulp and paper industry in Switzerland, and then I ran a pulp mill there actually. I then got a job in New Zealand. I got married before that to an English wife, an English girl, and we emigrated to New Zealand. I worked there for 2 years. We had one child adopted there, and then we went back to Switzerland. I worked there for another 4 years. We had another 3 children, and decided to emigrate to New Zealand a second time. This time I decided to run my own business with my wife. We made jigsaw puzzles for preschoolers, kindergartens, and were very successful. Not making a lot of money, but it was a good job. We then joined a community, and shortly after that, my wife left me, which was a real shock for me. Lived there in the community, my ex-wife lived there in the community, and after a while I got remarried to an Australian woman, and we had 2 more children, and then she left me, which was another shock. But I then realized that was 2 relationships successfully concluded. I learned a lot, and basically had in mind not to have any more relationships. But then this beautiful young woman came along and said she wanted to marry me. Well, how I could say no, of course. And we are still married. We got married in 1981. So, and we are still happily married. I joined QHS because my wife joined, and then I looked into it, and I realized, yes, that is absolutely correct what Cynthia and the people said about the quantum healing, the quantum waves and everything, because I had looked into that previously, mainly interested because of my job that I had. I had 2 broken noses in my lifetime, one while skiing, another one with a play fight with my first wife, and I had 2 broken ribs. That was mainly on building sites that I slipped, and the hammer would cause my ribs to be broken. I had 2 hernias, which I had operated on and repaired. And today's problems are mainly my eyesight is not 100%, especially on my left hand. I had a little bit of start of cataract, and then I have an enlarged prostate, which I would like to work on. I do quite a bit of helping my old friends who are not as fit as me anymore, and so I'm lucky in that respect. I'm really fit and healthy in general. I work on our land, orchard, so I hope that stays like that. The devices from which we had been using, and I have been using for the last 3 years, was it 22, 4, 5, almost 4 years, 3.5 years, and they help me a lot. I have more energy and less nighttime urination, and I'm feeling a lot happier. Post-ARC, I will be sure I will be the same as I am now, except I will be fitter, healthier, and I'll fit into the world like a glove.
Join us on the Prequel, where every story matters and every voice is heard. Because here at QHS, we're all about healing, learning, and growing together.